Alright, so before we get started, this is not the 1000th video special. That will be tomorrow. I just thought it'd be more better to celebrate all 1000 videos in video 1001, so that'll be tomorrow. But this particular video, I actually really wanted to review this. This is original work from Kishimoto that he did 15 years ago prior to getting Naruto serialized, and this was like a seinen work that he really, was passionate about. He called it his greatest work ever, his masterpiece. And after reading this, I gotta say that Kishimoto was definitely onto something 15 years ago. So basically, there's a mafia story. This guy, Mario, he's an assassin and he's killing people. And he's not that bad of a guy, to be honest with you. I know that sounds crazy, but he just started doing this because at first he wanted to, I guess, heal his mother with the money, like use the money to get his mother some help, and then afterwards it just spiraled into something else. And we all know how stuff like that can do. And a lot of the themes in this one is very dark. It's very dark. So if you're coming into this expecting something like Naruto, it is beyond different. It is more real worldly. It's grounded to reality. It's more showing how sadistic the world can be. And to be honest with you, the relationship between Mario and his friend, or we could call him frenemy, Ken, it really reminds me in a way of Kakashi and Obito, and the ultimate outcome of this whole one-shot really reminded me of that. And who knows if this could be some sort of precursor or the springboard that Kishimoto used when coming up with the whole thing of Kakashi and Obito, because the way everything ended, it kind of just seemed like very similar to the dynamics of them two, and ultimately like how things can flip. And the thing that Mario says at the end, it's no longer a joke. I'm not laughing anymore, something like that. It was really just really powerful, and honestly, I can clearly see a lot of influence from Mario that was used into when Kishimoto created Kakashi, because you see Mario staring at the grave of his mother, having regret, and ultimately, it just really it's a big idea of where the inspiration for Kakashi ultimately came from when you read this one. Now, the girl, Saori, she was a very deep character. She experienced something very bad in the past. I wish we would have got explained why. That's something, I guess, a little criticism I have about it. I wish we would have had a little bit more in depth as to why she killed. I believe it was her foster parents or something like that. I wish we would have got a little bit more as to why she did it, but ultimately she did, and she was covered in blood and everything. And it was this was a really dark and deep character. She kind of just shut herself in after that. And the way Kishimoto handled a lot of these characters, it was just really something very radically different from Naruto. And honestly, after reading Mario, I definitely think that Kishimoto was very well cut out to do a seinen manga after Naruto if he chose to, because Mario, in all honesty, at first I was reading it was like, it's okay. I was going through it and reading it, and I was like, it's alright. And then as the story progressed, you start to see there's more layers to different things. It's not just clear cut. It's not just killing. There's more to this girl, Saori. Mario, he's a very deep character as well. And the big revelation of Ken trying to flip things over on him and kill him. I think Kishimoto handled this one very nicely. And when you get scenes in Naruto like Obito flipping out and killing everybody, blood everywhere, you can clearly see that's Kishimoto's dark seinen manga writer in him that comes out occasionally in Naruto. And ultimately, that Mario, I would give this definitely an 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10, because it dealt with a lot of deep issues. And this guy, he's really filled with regret over his mother's death, and just what he ultimately became. And honestly, I think that Kishimoto did a very amazing job with this one. Like 15 years ago, he was a lot younger and he was still kicking it. And if because I read a little bit of the interview, and ultimately he was going to basically quit doing shonen manga because he wasn't having much luck and he just wasn't really all that passionate about it, until an editor stepped in and said, why don't you just try one more time. And then he came up with Naruto. So ultimately, if he would have stuck with Mario, I think this would have been like a classic. I would love to buy this if it ever comes in stores. The art, nothing really like stood out to me. Nothing jumped out at me. The art wasn't really anything special, so I will say that the art wasn't all the way like just crazy. It was good art, nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't anything special in particular. But I will say that I felt as though the characters just had a lot of complex emotions and deep scars within them that really brought them to life and made them like show the ugly side of the world. And I thought that was really nicely done. Honestly, I thought that Kishimoto definitely had something going 15 years ago. And had he not done Naruto, Mario might have been one of those when you look back and you think, wow, that was a pretty freaking awesome story. Hopefully we get this release, because I think between Mario, that girl Saori and Ken, it really shows where life can ultimately get really dark really quick. And the twist with Mario taking his own life at the end, I thought was even more crazier. I thought that Mario doing that at the end was just the best way to end it, because it just showed that Mario was done with his pain and he wanted to just be done with this world. And it showed that Mario was kind of like even depressed over things. Like he had a happy face on the outside, but on the inside he was really broken down. And it was time he felt, he wanted to be next to his mother. So very good work on Kishimoto's end. I'm really shocked because at first I was like skeptical, like, can Kishimoto really do seinen manga? And he proved me wrong. I was, he really went all in back then. So hopefully we get more of this Mario. Again, I give it a 8.5 out of 10. It wasn't too original or anything like that. It wasn't, like I said, the art wasn't the greatest and it wasn't too original, but the way the characters were structured, this, assassin mafia thing, it didn't go too deep into the mafia and assassinations or anything like that, but it definitely just showed these characters. It was more so character driven, and I like that. I thought it was nicely done. Let me know what you guys think. First of all, Mario, do you think that this is definitely Kishimoto's masterpiece above Naruto? Do you think that this could have been successful had he published it 15 years ago? And ultimately, did you enjoy it? Do you think that this is where Kishimoto should go next once he finishes Naruto? In my opinion, go for it after Naruto, dude. You already gave us a great manga, great shonen manga with Naruto. If you want to go with seinen and go with Mario, I say Kishimoto should go for it, because the story was not only complex, not only dealt with some very dark and deep emotions, it ultimately just did something really like powerful in it. And the way it ended, it was a very powerful ending. And like I said, also one last thing I guess for Naruto fans, Kakashi, do you think that this could possibly be where it would ultimately lead? Kakashi killing Obito and then possibly killing himself. I mean, I know the White Fang killed himself, and Kakashi probably wouldn't go that route, but it's just a curious thought to think maybe this is where he was inspired, and this is might where it might ultimately lead to, as well as never know. Maybe he took the suicide part and gave it to the White Fang, and then Kakashi and Obito. Kakashi might kill Obito and not kill himself, but your overall thoughts on that? That's all I have for this review of this masterpiece. I will give Kishimoto. At the end of the day, it was pretty freaking good. It surprised me at the end. I didn't see that ending coming, honestly. So I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day, and thumbs up for Kishimoto's masterpiece that he wrote 15 years ago.